Hey guys, Janet and I are still in Cebu, and today we're meeting with Heidi.
Hi.
And Heidi is a visa expert. Tell us about your company.
Okay, again, I'm Heidi. I'm the managing director and co-owner of CNG Consulting. I want to call us an expat one-stop shop.
Expat one-stop shop.
Yes, an
Really?
expat one-stop shop, because the goal for us is really to help expats make their move here to the Philippines a lot better, a lot more convenient, because I think you know this, the processes in the Philippines are very tedious and there's a lot of paperwork requirements. So
Time-consuming, a lot of paperwork.
a lot of lining up, a lot of queues. So I know in the West it's a lot more automatic. Everything can be done online, but here in the Philippines, a lot of things are still very manual, and that could be exhausting, especially when you want to retire here in the Philippines. So what we want to do is make it a lot more convenient for you. So
For us.
for you, yes.
A lot of my viewers, the number one thing people ask me when they're coming here, what kind of permanent retirement visa can they get?
So what they can get is a special resident retirees visa, or what we like to call the SRRV. So there are different types of SRRVs, and depending on your qualifications, you can actually get an SRRV if you want to retire here in the Philippines.
Are there requirements? Well, of course there's requirements. Let's go with the military. Guys have served in the service. That seems to be a very common and economical way to go. What is the process for that?
So if you have any military service, you can actually get the SRRV expanded courtesy. So this visa basically, some of the SRRVs have deposits. So the SRRV expanded courtesy only requires 1,500 deposit to the Philippine Retirement Authority that grants the SRRV. So all you need to do is show that you have military experience, which you can do by getting a DD-214. And you have to get this document apostilled.
Apostille in the States?
In the
before coming?
States, yes. You do this. We normally get questions where, oh, what is an apostille? An apostille is basically the Philippine government. We cannot authenticate documents that come from another country. So your country has to authenticate it so that when you come here, we know that it's authorized and real, basically, a valid document. So you get that one, your DD-214. Next would be, you can do this in your local government, basically where you're staying at.
Your office, or mine, I had to send to the State Department, but that was during COVID, and the local government units, they weren't open at the time.
Yeah. So next one would be your police clearance. So your police clearance, you can get this at your local police office where you're staying at, and this document also needs to get apostilled.
Apostille. And there's a time limitation on that one, isn't there?
Yeah, so all the documents that you need to present here in the Philippines has to be at least 6 months valid. Yeah. So if you have military experience, you also need to show that you're receiving pension from your country of origin. So that means your government pension or your Social Security. And proof of that also needs to be apostilled. So
That could be your Social Security benefit letter. States how much you make all the time. Now, is the process getting harder? People that were here 2 years ago before COVID, or 3 or 4 years ago before COVID, and now, is the process more difficult to become a permanent resident here?
honestly, out of all the visas, because we do all of the visas, the SRRV is actually the fastest that you can get. But there are requirements that you need to get here also when you're in the Philippines. So coming to our agency, a lot of our clients actually are having a hard time getting their NBI clearance, their certificate from the Bureau of Quarantine, which actually has a lot of other prerequisites. So what we do is we hold your hand.
You hold her hand.
We hold your hand. We pick you up from where you're living. We bring you to these government agencies like the National Bureau of Investigation and the Bureau of Quarantine. And my staff will be with you throughout the day to just make sure you get your certifications that are actually requirements of the SRRB.
When you're holding their hand, do you have to get it done in like Cebu or in Manila, or can you be in Dumaguete or Iloilo?
So depending on where you are, there are actually NBI offices in some of the provinces. But for the Bureau of Quarantine, if you are in the Visayas area, we like to do it in Cebu. But since we offer it nationwide, you have the option to either do it in Manila or Cebu.
Manila or Cebu. So the easiest thing though is to schedule some time to be in Cebu and get it all done.
Yes, so this can all be done in 1 to 2 days. So
If you have all your documents when you get here,
yes,
they're correct.
yes,
And you'll scan that, you'll verify that they have everything they need.
yeah, basically. So we'll print everything for you. We'll normally ask you for the documents that we need to get your NBI and BOQ schedule. And then when you come here, you just need to show up.
One question I'll have, if I come for a visit and I'm here for 2 or 3 weeks, I want to check out the Philippines, and I decide I'm going to retire here, can we stop by your office and get the paperwork started?
Yes, 100%.
And so we can get some things done ahead of time and get a list of what we need? So great.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, Heidi's going to be part of the channel. We're going to do a few live streams with her where you can ask your questions and follow-up questions. And any of your visa questions, if you direct them to me or you direct them to Heidi, and I'll leave a link below to her office, her contact information, and she'll answer them as quickly as possible. And like I said, if you send it to me, I'm going to refer it to Heidi. So she's going to be your one-stop shop for all your visa questions.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to share with her, guys, before I let you go?
So again, we're an expat one-stop shop. It's not just the immigration services, but if you are thinking of starting a business here in the Philippines, we can also help you with that. You can also help you with your driver's license conversion because foreigners...
You can help with the driver's license.
Yes, we actually do that.
Oh my.
Yeah, so for foreigners are only actually allowed to drive here with your international driver's license for 120 days. After 120 days, you need to convert it into a Philippine driver's license.
And that's the internet? Even
No, that's the local one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the local one. So once you have that, you can easily convert it into an international driver's license, which is, doesn't really cost much here in the Philippines.
So you do everything.
Yeah, so everything that an expat needs that is in relation to the government, we can help them with that. So that's why I like to call it an expat one-stop shop.
Wow. I wish I would have known that. I paid so much money to get my driver's license at one point.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't have the motorcycle endorsement.
Okay.
And I got my driver's license, but then the only thing I drove was a motorcycle, and I got stopped for that.
I see.
So I had to go to school, take the test. Complicated.
Yeah, we do it very easily. Like in one day, you can get your driver's license.
In the future, I'm looking at getting Janet and I the spousal visa.
Okay.
Is that something? Of course. Is that something you do?
Of course, we do that.
Is that a tough process?
So I said before, the SRV is actually the easiest, but the requirements, you have to get it from another country, right? With 13A, all the documents that you need are actually just in the Philippines. So yeah, your marriage certificate, your passports, NBI clearance, of course. But then once you have all that, you're good to go.
Now let me just ask one question. If I'm a foreigner here and I'm married, am I better off with the SRRV or the 13A?
Personally, it depends on your preference. So SRRV is only dependent on your merit, right?
Yeah.
And then the 13A is actually dependent on your spouse. So your spouse is the petitioner. So if you're good with your wife, you have a really good relationship, then yes, of course, do the 13A. But if you want to keep your visa as dependent on you regardless of what happens, then do the SRRB.
Can you lose, if you have a 13A, can you lose it if you separate from your wife?
Separation, not necessarily, because you're still married.
You're still married.
So it's either you get an annulment or a divorce. Then that will affect your visa.
Okay, so the girl can't just kick you out and say she's taking your visa.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. All right, guys. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Okay.